The year is 2009.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, what type of nerves were going through, or what were your thoughts as I came through the door and said, hey, I'm going all in and I'm going into real estate full time?
Honestly, I'm never scared with you because I'm confident and I trust you. I've always have. So whatever it is that you want to do, I'm there.
How's it going? Brandon Gonzales here, and I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the launch. And today we've got a great guest speaker, and how about you introduce yourself?
I'm Julie Gonzales, your wife.
All right. And I know what you guys are thinking. Hey, you're starting this podcast, Brandon. What angle are you going? Well, I thought it would be very special for everybody out there to kind of get the background of what goes on, with a spouse, with the relationship, when somebody goes all in. And so I'm hoping you guys will get some great information from this. And also maybe I'm going to get some information from this to see, what's been going on in the mind of my beautiful wife, Julie. So real quick, how long has it been now that we've been married or soon to be married?
15 years.
Come January 13th, we'll be celebrating 15 crazy years, 3 kids later. And so for those of you that do not know me, again, Brandon Gonzales, I am a broker owner for Iron Key Real Estate. I've been in the real estate industry since 2005. And obviously a lot has gone on in the business. And as that old saying goes, it takes a very patient, strong woman to be behind a successful man, or in this case, next to a successful man, and sometimes in front and leading the way. And so, Julie, tell me a little bit about what you can recall when, I got into the business, just as a whole, and meaning from the Chicago title days.
Okay. Well, we went from a secure job, benefits, and really no worries, I think. So when you said you wanted to go into real estate full time, I don't think I wasn't scared because I've always been confident in you. Like where you've come from, failure is not an option for you.
So let me, not to interrupt you real quick. So Chicago title, so working a pretty steady income job. As she mentioned, we had the 401k and all the fun things. A consistent check was coming in. We had just had our first child, and we were getting ready to have our second. The year is 2009.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, what type of nerves were going through, or what were your thoughts as I came through the door and said, hey, I'm going all in and I'm going into real estate full time?
Honestly, I'm never scared with you because I'm confident and I trust you. I've always have. So whatever it is that you want to do, I'm there.
Interesting. Now, I know there's a lot of, husband and wives out there when it's like, hey, spouse is going all in. Sometimes there's that fight or flight that even comes about. As a broker, as I interview people, one of the things that I'm always talking about is, you got to have a support system. Obviously, you got to have the internal support system within your company. And for those of you that aren't in real estate, even think about it at your whatever it is you do. Whether it be athletics or whether it be, corporate America, or you're an entrepreneur, having an internal support system within your craft, right? But the most important one is when you go home. And if I'm being completely honest, I felt at times, and maybe it's just the way that I'm wired, that when I went home, I had to share something positive, or maybe it wasn't going to be as, oh, you made the right decision, right? I mean, would you say that checks were flying in out of the gate?
No.
All right. And so is it safe to say that we were kind of living check to check? Or?
Yeah, at times. Yeah, there were moments when we were living check to check and we had some difficulties. But for me, that has never, personally, it's never been a problem for me.
Well, right on.
Because I know you always find a way. There's no doubt in my mind, you always find a way.
And just so you guys know, when we play board games, she definitely hypes me up so that I can win the games. And a lot of people will agree with that. So, this is music to my ears because, believe it or not, when we are at home, I mean, let's take a little side route real quick. Let's talk about the activity. I mean, what do you do for a living?
I'm going to say I'm a full-time mom and a part-time personal trainer.
Okay, and how long have you been a personal trainer?
About 14 years.
Right on.
Yeah, 13, 14 years. And I have clients that have been with me from the beginning that are still with me.
Right on. And so obviously understanding what I do, it's a relationship business just like yours. What do you feel has kept you consistent in people coming back?
I think the relationships that we have built.
Yeah.
I'm not their employee, or they're not my employer. I'm
Right.
not their employee. We are like friends.
Yep.
So I think that has helped keep our relationship, together.
Right on.
They're staying clients. They're being my clients. Yeah.
Okay, so you got an active personal training clientele. Now let's talk a little bit about the kids. So, for those of you out there that have kids, I mean, we can all agree, it's from sun up to sundown. The action doesn't stop. What does that typical day look like for you?
Wake up at 5:45
Yeah.
and make 3 lunches, sometimes 2, depending on what's for hot lunch.
And they will learn to make their own lunches very soon. So.
And then getting all the kids ready out the door. We're to school by 8 o'clock, one at school by 7:20.
Yeah.
Come back home, finish getting myself ready, eat my own breakfast, and get the kids off to school at 8. And then I'm usually off to work.
Right.
For an hour or 2, depending on what day it is. And then I try and get my own workout in.
Yeah.
Because I got to make time for myself. I try to make that a priority. Sometimes I got to be at the school, or I've got to go run errands or this and that. But I typically try to take time for myself in the morning.
Good.
And then try and get home by 11:30, 12, have a lunch, and then basically plan out go to the grocery store.
And she's
Usually
quite
I'm
a planner.
cooking dinner at lunchtime.
Yeah.
So that we can have a home cooked meal
So
every night.
So time management is definitely
Yes.
crucial in running personal training.
Planning.
Planning. And, now let's go kind of switching gears, right? Because I think it's important people understand like the complexities. There's layers to this, and even as you're going to pick up from our discussion, it's definitely not perfect, but we definitely have some systems in place. And what is on our refrigerator?
A calendar.
Yeah. And if that calendar is off by half an hour,
it's my fault.
it's her fault. And it also throws off the whole day. It ruins everything, and it's her fault. And then she should, no, I'm kidding. But
well, it is though, because your time is like crunch, and I think that's something you can work on.
Yeah,
Giving
okay.
yourself a little bit more time for travel and this and that, but it's like to the wire for you.
Well, and
if it's off.
back in the day, you can travel across Fresno and Clovis in 15 minutes. And so, yes, I think I need to adjust give myself a little bit of breathing room to travel. Okay, so, but let's go back, right? Like kind of tap back into the old days when, I know that there were times when, I'm leaving at certain times in the morning to get into the office. I know where, there were times when, heck, I've got it, I'm hitting up happy hour. I'm trying to, maybe drown the blues of not closing a deal or things going on. What was your expectation of me during those work hours? What were you expecting me to do? Because here's an important thing. Like there's a lot of husbands and wives out there whose family, somebody's going all in on something. What was your expectation as you said, hey, Brandon's going all in? Like what were the activities that you expected me to be doing?
At what point?
During the real estate sales.
Working. I mean, just.
So was I in my car? Was I with people?
I think both.
I
knew in real estate, you're not necessarily sitting behind a desk all day long.
Right.
You're out in the field, you're coming and going, and just busy.
Yeah.
Busy.
Would you be concerned if I was home maybe during the day, hanging out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So.
Yeah.
So you know that it's got to be addressed very similar to that of a 9 to 5, but beyond that.
Yeah.
Do you recall? The first year we got, and we probably shouldn't have. We got DirecTV. It's very expensive. No shout outs to DirecTV. And we got the NFL ticket, and I didn't get to watch one game because I decided to do open houses. And I know you had the babies, and we were trying to do the schedule where the naps were being done. How was it, kind of raising the kids when knowing dad's got to go away for clips of 2 or 3 hours? I mean, how did that get managed, you feel, effectively?
I would reach out to my parents, to your parents. When people say it takes a village, it truly takes a village.
Right.
And any friends that were available at the time too.
Right.
But I knew what you were doing. I knew you were doing it for the family, and
Yeah.
yeah,
So-
you're getting it done.
Right on. Well, or at least at the time trying. And she knows as well as anybody. I mean, there were times when, you deviate, and that's in the back of your mind, that your kids are at home and things are, she's doing her best. I need to be doing my best. They have an expectation of what I need to be doing. So, and I'm glad that you brought that up, that, yeah, you expected that I was working. And there are times when, somebody gets in and they have this downtime and they find ways to make excuses and then things don't get done. So that's cool to see. Now, let's talk about the experience of being, I've been involved with the association on different levels. I've served at a very high level, and you go to these events. What's it been like for you to plug in and meet some other, spouses?
It's been nice.
Yeah.
It is. It's really nice. I mean, going into events not knowing anybody is a little nerve-wracking,
Right.
and not having the same background as them.
Right.
But it always ended up fine.
Yeah, but the thing is, like,
Conversations.
I know you mentioned, and that was one of the things. She always felt like if we were going somewhere, she wouldn't know anybody, or there would be this disconnect. But as time proved, like, we've got more in common with these people than we ever thought. They had different stories, and everybody's got their background and their upbringing, and so it's been really cool to see how we can plug in. And we've got like different groups of friends, and I know they always love to ask how you're doing, how the kids are doing, and we've all seen each other grow and do some things. So now, if you were to give somebody advice, like if there's a wife out there listening or watching, and their husband or their wife is like, hey babe, I'm going to do something real crazy, I'm going to go actually get into this real estate thing, what type of advice could you give them? From maybe it's from communicating and that I'm not the best at that at times, or just anything that you can offer.
Patience.
Yeah.
Being supportive.
Right.
And letting them do what they love to do. You can't take that away from them.
Right.
So,
I appreciate that. No, and you definitely been there. Now, as far as communication, right? Because, I think people can be patient when they know what you're doing. How often do we talk during the day?
a couple times, but it's just quickly like,
Yeah.
Communicating usually about the kids or how's your day, how's it been going, or
Right.
I just left this, I just
Get the
left
package off the doorstep.
that all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's not mine, it says. But yeah, just quick conversations so that I got to call. I got to go.
Right.
I'll call you back.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things. I mean, I'm ready to take the call, take the call at any time. It's not like that for me,
Yeah.
but I know on your end it is. So
Let's. Does anything stick out that any move that I've made in the business, any transact? I mean, how has it worn on me? I mean, from your experience, and the reason why I'm asking this question is, is it do you see me wearing my emotions on my sleeve after I come home from work?
sometimes.
Yeah. And how hard or how long do you think it takes to get over that and move on?
For you or for
Just for me, for us, or however.
probably like maybe a good hour from the time you come home. I mean, by the
Yeah.
end of the evening when we're in bed and, we're reading or whatever it is, I think our conversations go a little smoother and it's more relaxed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for those out there, again, this is, kind of another tip is, of course, I mean, it's great to communicate and ask how days are, but also have some understanding of maybe what they just walked out of.
Yeah.
And obviously, I have like a visual every time I walk through the garage door that I walk in, and typically the family's there. It's really cool, little thing that I always kind of have etched in my brain. And then I'm always expecting, hey, Dad, hey, how's the day? And I don't even know if I answer it because I just go in for the hugs and whatever not. But and then I have some background music. So have some background music as you walk in. Usually it's Welcome to the Jungle, little Guns N' Roses. But so yeah, no, thanks for sharing that. Now let's kind of get wrapped up because I know I'm sure you got places to be and things to do. So. From our standpoint, it's a team effort. There's times when we're high-fiving, hey, go team. Wouldn't you say that that's probably the biggest thing, not only for understanding, you're a personal trainer, I do this, we help with the kids, but to run a family, right?
Yeah.
To run a marriage. What are some other, what's some advice, or what are some things that maybe you've learned along the way that have kept those things growing? Because obviously there are things that need nurturing. So meaning
Spending time together,
Yeah.
just you and I, and because once you are married and you have kids, it's usually all about the kids,
right.
and sometimes you lose yourself in the kids and what they're doing and all their extracurricular activities, and spending time together
Yeah,
is important.
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, obviously I can go on forever with her. This is something that I'm actually, it's good to have her open up, and hopefully somebody out there is getting something from this. I think the takeaways, if anything, right, is, to communicate, to definitely trust, to have that patience, right? Wait, this almost sounds like, love is kind, love is blind. Anyways, I think, you've been a great supporter. I mean, I definitely wouldn't even be at this point of where we're at. And I think we're just scratching the surface. But,
Yeah.
and so for anybody out there that says, hey, I look at, and I too look at a lot of great people out there that I know are doing great things for their family, for the community. And I know that there's always somebody else right there that is supporting them or pushing them, and a big part of it. And you've been that for me. Mm-hmm. So I want to, definitely thank you. And it's just anything that I've ever received, I'm like, it's not just me, it's us, it's we, right? Mm-hmm. And so I hope, as you guys venture into the new year, that you guys can learn, can live, and can love, and continue to listen to the launch as we bring, real people with real scenarios and sharing and open up for you guys. So thank you, babe. Love you.
Love you too.
Appreciate
Good job.
it. All right, and we're out.